Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Cosentino. Today's episode is about the truth behind being ambitious in your 20s. Have you ever felt like you want more out of your life? Like there's something bigger for you, something that you're passionate about, and something that would just get you out of bed every morning with zero hesitation. I've been in that place. I'm in that place currently. And if that's you right now, just know that you are not alone. It's very normal. I truly believe we're placed on this earth for a reason, and a lot of the time that reason is connected to the passions that you carry. It's the ideas and the thoughts that won't leave you alone, that are constantly flooding your mind, and it's the things that you genuinely love to do. And yes, those passions, they can change over time, they can evolve as you evolve, because the truth behind being ambitious in your 20s, it's exciting, but it's uncomfortable. One of the biggest truths no one talks about is that when you want more out of your life, it feels really, really uncomfortable. You can be grateful for your life currently, the job that you have, the people in it, and you can still feel restless. You have that itch of like, you should be doing more with your life. You don't want to be sitting in an office for 40 hours a week, grinding at something that isn't your passion. You know what I mean? If that's you and that's something that you love to do, is you love working for a company and helping that company grow, by all means, you should continue to grind at that and, continue to work your way up and come up with ideas and make yourself known within that company. But some people aren't like that, and that is completely normal. And wanting a better life or something different out of your life, that doesn't mean that you're ungrateful. It just makes you aware, and it kind of puts things in a different perspective. And when you have those feelings, it's your job to figure out what to do with that and how to explore building off of that. And that could be wanting to start a business or wanting to be more involved in your community or working for a nonprofit or something like that. It doesn't have to be strictly business. It could be sports. It could be literally anything. Ambition usually starts as like the little whisper in your ear constantly. It's the little ideas and thoughts that pop up in your mind and you're like, it makes you actually think about it. And then it's very small, but it kind of gives you that nudge that, okay, there could be something and like another level to these thoughts. When you start to realize that you want more out of your life, it can feel like you are behind. And, social media puts a lot of unneeded pressure on you and on people your age, and it puts an unrealistic expectation about where you should be at in your life. And I felt this pressure so much, like right out of college. I felt like I was so behind. So behind. Like, I know I've talked about it, but I didn't get an immediate 8 to 5 job out of college. I was working as a waitress, and nothing wrong with that. But you compare yourself to other people, and that comparison can really, really, really affect you. And I always knew that I wanted more out of my life. I always knew that I hate to say destined for greatness, but I knew that I was destined for more of what a normal person's life looks like. And no shame, no shade about that. But I always knew deep down that I was striving for more out of my life. And it took me a while to figure that out. It took me a while to kind of start listening to my thoughts and my ideas and start putting action towards those. It makes you feel like you're ahead, but you're behind at the same time. And I'm ahead in discipline. I'm ahead in the mindset. I'm ahead in emotional maturity. I did a lot of growing up in the past few years. I did a lot of work on myself, but I still have so much to learn about business, careers, money, different timelines, like so many different things about building a business and all the different aspects that come with that. And you can still be progressing, but still feel the pressure and still have that self-doubt of what am I doing? You know what I mean? You have that momentum that you are building something and that you have something that is legit and that it's something that can bring value to people and value to the world. And you know that you can't just like mask this feeling and these ideas that you have, but it makes you feel like some days that you're like, what the heck am I doing? You know, you can be progressing and like still feel like that you're not moving fast enough. Like someone's already doing this, someone's already doing this. And it's like you need to kind of just trust your timeline and trust yourself and believe in yourself that what you're doing is going to pay off and it's not going to be immediate and it's going to be something that progresses over time and builds off of each other. Being ambitious in your 20s, it's not aesthetic the way that it looks online. It's repetitive, it's the discipline, it's the early mornings, it's the routines, it's coming home and working after your 8 to 5 and putting another 4 hours into your business, your social media, your whatever that looks like. You're working when nobody's watching. You are posting content that gets only 12 views. You can spend 3 hours editing a video or recording a podcast and editing a podcast and only getting 2 downloads or 10 views. It's staying in on the weekends when your friends are out partying, and it's investing in yourself before you see any return. Nobody talks about the long, quiet middle phase where like you don't know if you're doing something great or you're just wasting your time. You have the self-doubt. But this is where you build that foundation, build the skills to sustain. Once you get to that level of success, you need to have those habits, mindsets, yada, yada, yada in place. So when you get to that level of success, you don't stop there and you don't give up at that level. Because you can't just stop at that level, you have to keep going. And this is where your foundation is built. This is where it stretches you, it pushes you to your limits. I really had to reevaluate how I'm spending my time. I want to do all these things and I like grind through the week at my 8 to 5 job, and then on the weekends I was, I would do the gym, grocery shop, meal prep, clean, all of that stuff, and then either I would go out with my friends or I would be like, oh, let me just relax on the couch because I'm really tired or some bullshit like that. And that's where it was like, okay, Jenna, it's now Sunday night. You didn't accomplish anything that you wanted to this week and weekend. Like, what are you doing? Where in your days can you be spending time building this business, this brand outside of your 9 to 5? Like, how are you going to be able to do that? And I really had to evaluate my life. And, as much as I would love to come home after work and take a shower and just relax and hang out and watch TV. And I just know that wasting 4 or 5 hours after working all day is not going to push me to where I want to be in a year. In this middle phase, it's about sacrifice. It's about, I hate to keep saying discipline, but it's about doing the things that you don't want to do and doing the things that you say you're going to do. That's me coming home after work and recording and editing a TikTok, sitting down and recording the podcast and editing that and getting it uploaded. So on Wednesdays, it's there at 7 a.m. It's building those habits and that discipline of I need to get this stuff done. I want to get this stuff done to push me to that next level of my life. And most people, they don't understand this concept. And that's where most people quit. They like spend a little time doing this, spend a little time doing that, and they don't see results because they're not putting in the reps, they're not putting in the work. And it's not because they're incapable, it's just because they're impatient and they don't have the strategies and the skills to push them past that middle uncomfortable stage. Really hope all of this made sense. Um, there's also a shift when you start, prioritizing your time and spending the weekends working on your business, working on your content. There's a shift that happens when you start taking yourself seriously. You have different routines, you have different priorities, you start thinking about the long term, you start protecting your energy, one of the major keys. You are starting to say no more often. Ambition separates you before it elevates you. It removes the people from your life, the things from your life that aren't going to be with you in the long run, that aren't going to push you forward. Your routines, like I said, they look different. You're going to have to wake up earlier, and that's if you go to the gym in the morning, or if you don't want to work late after you get out of work, do the things that you need to do in the morning before you go into work. And, you're going to have to start building different routines and habits outside of your normal daily tasks. Um, Different priorities. You're going to have to start prioritizing yourself more and more. You're going to have to start prioritizing your business, your community. That is going to be the top of your list. And you don't have to, completely isolate yourself or make yourself in this bubble of like you can't have fun or you can't do this, you can't do that. It's just about prioritizing your time and being disciplined in the time that you set aside for your goals. During the week, my boyfriend and I, we don't see each other for like the first half of the week, but we're both building businesses and we're both really prioritizing our future and not working an 8 to 5. Like, we're really prioritizing long term success for ourselves. And, that takes sacrifice. That goes same with friendships. Your friends want you to go out to dinner on a Monday night or a Tuesday night, but you know that that you should be doing this. Sometimes you're going to have to say, like, as much as I'd love to, can we save it for the weekend or another time? Like, I really want to, not have to, I want to work on this project or work on this business plan or whatever that looks like. And if people don't respect that, then those are the people you need to protect your energy from. Those are the people that you need to remove from your life because they don't understand and they're not helping you move forward. They're not supporting you. This isolation feeling that you might have, it's temporary, but it's necessary to propel you to that next level. If you're really serious about becoming more, wanting more out of your life, you really have to outgrow your old standards. You really have to outgrow the old habits, the old excuses, the comfort zones, the old versions of yourself. Those old routines, habits, versions of yourself aren't going to be sustainable when you hit that next level of success. The old versions of you are holding you back. And God, the universe, they push you outside of your comfort zone and outside your habits, your excuses, your versions of yourself to get you to that next level. Growth, it feels inconvenient before it starts feeling empowering, it starts paying off. You could be sitting at home grinding after your 8 to 5, grinding on the weekends, and you're like, fuck, I'm still getting 12 views. I'm still getting 2 downloads on the podcast. Like, what the heck am I doing? Why is this not working? And It's Benson, leave her alone. Go get your ball. It's good. You got your ketchup and your mustard. Oh my goodness. What did you And he's ready for hot dog season. I like to say that this is the universe and God testing you of, okay, are you ready for that next level? Because they're going to be putting that block of you're not getting views, you're not getting downloads, like you're not having any growth happening, like nothing's taking off. And if you quit, then they know that you are not ready for that next version of yourself. But if you just keep pushing forward, they know, okay, she's serious about this, like let's get her going. I have fallen in that trap many times of, all right, I'm on this good momentum track. I'm on this path and I'm not seeing growth, so I give up. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. But so then you kind of have to start over again and you have to like continue to work harder and harder and harder and just not give up and continue to push yourself so they know that you're ready for this next level. Ambition without competence, that creates anxiety. What does that mean is when you feel insecure about something or you don't know how to do this next level or how do you get to this next level, you need to raise your skills. You need to learn. You need to start learning a different idea, learning a different tactic. You need to raise your skill level. Stack skills. Continue to learn. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Like listen to audiobooks. You need to improve your communication. You need to start learning about business, money, fitness, leadership. You need to invest in yourself. You really need to take the time and understand that it is so important to continue learning as you get older. I was never a reader, never a reader. Once I did 75 hard, you're forced to read 10 pages of a book, nonfiction book, which makes you learn. It was like a whole new world opened up. I enjoyed reading. I loved reading new ideas, new ways that I can level up my life, new perspectives, and those are the ways and the skills that are going to continue to push you forward. If you want to grow a business and have a bunch of employees, you need to learn how to be a leader. You need to learn about bringing value to your employees and creating a place that they want to work. You need to learn about budgeting. You need to learn about investing. A lot of the times when you're insecure and you don't know how to do something or you're like pushed to that next limit, it's because you're not confident in what you're doing. You're not confident in what you're talking about. So you really need to take that time to, when you hit a roadblock, be like, okay, can I read a book? Can I listen to a podcast on this topic? How can I get better at this? Start getting better at your fears, your insecurities. I promise you that is going to be a game changer in your life and whatever you're striving towards. And the truth behind being ambitious in your 20s, it's exciting, it's uncomfortable, it's slow, it's stretching you and pushing you in different ways, but it's shaping you into somebody who's capable of holding on to more. It's shaping you into somebody who can sustain the success long term. So if you're in the middle right now, like I am, you're not where you started, you're not where you want to be yet, but just know that you're not behind. You're building, and building takes time. Don't give up. Continue to push that needle forward. Continue learning, growing, and continue to prioritize yourself in the things that you want to accomplish. And I promise you, you will see a difference in a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. And like I say after every episode, follow us on Instagram and tag us in your stories if you listen to the episode, and send me over your DM if you have any ideas or any takeaways. I love to hear it. And thank you guys so much for listening. I will talk to you next week.